Fairness Alberta has launched an online campaign hoping to highlight Alberta's financial contributions to the rest of the country. The campaign states that since the year 2000, Albertans have contributed more than $300 billion to Canada's economy. Joining us with more about the campaign is Bill Bewick, the Executive Director with Fairness Alberta. Good morning, Bill. Thank you so much for joining us. So more than $300 billion. That's a huge number. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, it's actually the net contributions we've made to the federal government. And so that's Albertan taxpayer dollars that have gone to Ottawa. It's been about $600 billion, and then only about half of that has come back to Alberta. So Canada has relied on our prosperity and our hard work and our success for a long time. And we just feel like people haven't really carried that message to the rest of Canada. They hear a lot of anxiety and anger even coming out of Alberta, but they don't really understand why, and they don't understand how important our economic success has been to the rest of the country.
So we have different groups that have started up, including Wexit, that wants to just completely separate from Alberta, or from the rest of the country, pardon me. So how is Fairness Alberta different from other advocacy groups that are out there?
We are, first of all, nonpartisan and non-separatist. We think that it's really important that we come and share a positive message with the rest of Canada about how much Albertans have contributed, how much more we could contribute if we can get cooperation from the federal government on some of our key economic files, and really looking to make some reforms on some of these transfer programs to make sure that in the future, when we become prosperous again, we can maybe keep a little bit more of that money here in Alberta to invest in infrastructure and social services, et cetera.
I mean, equalization payments have been discussed for years, and whether they're fair or not. How do you hope to really get the attention of Ottawa?
Well, it appears we're going to be having a referendum next fall on the topic, so that should help get people's attention. We released a report last week that had 8 different reforms that we think are reasonable and would make equalization more fair, both for provinces like Alberta as well as recipient provinces. And people often say that no equalization reforms could help Alberta, but we've come up with 4 different proposals that would at least help Alberta a little bit. Some of them would help Alberta a lot. And so we really have been disappointed. Part of the reason we're here is because we're disappointed about the level of debate on a lot of these topics. So we're trying to bring some factual, understandable, coming from people with some academic background, some political background, some business background, and just try to make it accessible to both Albertans and other Canadians to understand the facts about it a little better. You
mentioned you have 4 points. Can you tell us what those are?
Yeah, one of them is comes to the fiscal stabilization program, which is something that sort of happens alongside equalization as a way for the federal government to help provinces who have a sudden downturn in revenue. Alberta had an $8 billion drop a few years ago, and all we got was $240 million in compensation for it. So we've proposed some changes. Others, all the premiers have agreed we should get at least $2.4 billion. So we're trying to draw some attention to that and get that fixed. And that could come out of the Equalization Fund, which would then make the equalization program accessible to more provinces and get more support for it. Another one is just reducing the size of equalization. It expands every year, regardless of whether the provinces are getting more or less equal. So when the provinces are getting more equal, as they are in the last few years, the equalization program should go down because it's not as necessary. And another one is just to replace health transfers with tax points. That would actually get Albertans about $3 billion more. And we feel like there's a massive duplication of equalization with the health transfers because we pay so much more into it than we get back.
So it sounds like this website and this group that you've started is really more about just answering some questions, throwing out some options, and making sure people really understand where their money is going and how it's being spent.
Absolutely. We think it's kind of a big black box, and we're trying to kind of unpack it a little bit. And so if people are interested in getting better informed ahead of this referendum coming up, they should definitely go to our website and have a look.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
For more information, you can visit Fairness Alberta online at fairnessalberta.ca. Stay with us. We're back after the break.